You're about to get the beating of your life, and it's going to change everything about who you think you need to become. Look at you, small, weak, completely helpless. Primeape doesn't even break a sweat as he shoves you around like you're nothing. Every punch reminds you of what you're not. Big, strong, intimidating. The worst part? Everyone's watching. Some are laughing. Others just look away because they're glad it's not them. Even Riolu, your best friend, the one you saved from this exact same beating just last week, won't even make eye contact. As you lie there in the dirt, one thought burns in your mind. Never again. I'm going to get so strong that no one will ever be able to do this to me again. Too bad you're about to learn that building muscle is easier than building character. Primeape finally stops. He looks down at you one last time with that satisfied smirk, the look of someone who's proven their point. Then he just walks away, like you were never worth his full attention to begin with. The other Pokémon start to disperse. The show's over. Some whisper as they leave. Others just pretend nothing happened. That's when Riolu finally moves. He approaches slowly, ears drooping, reaching out a paw to help you up. His eyes are full of guilt and regret. You turn away from him, struggling to stand on your own. You don't want his help. You don't want anyone's help. Riolu tries again, moving closer with that worried whine he makes when he's upset. But you just limp away, leaving him standing there, alone. But you're not angry at Riolu. You're angry at yourself. Angry that you were too weak to protect him last week. Too weak to protect yourself today. Too weak to be the Pokémon others can count on. As you stare at your battered reflection, one thought crystallizes in your mind. Never again. Whatever it takes, I'm going to get strong enough that this never happens again. And that's when the training began. At first, the training feels good, normal even. You've always been a naturally strong Pokémon. It's what Machop do. A few extra hours lifting rocks, some additional combat practice. Nothing wrong with getting stronger, right? But a few hours becomes all day, and getting stronger becomes getting strong enough that no one will ever hurt you again. Riolu tries to join you one afternoon, bouncing over with that playful energy he always has. He wants to train together like you used to, just friends helping each other get better. But you don't have time for just friends anymore. You brush past him without acknowledgement, focused on your next set. Riolu's ears droop as he watches you, but you don't notice. You're too busy counting reps. Rest days are for the weak, you tell yourself as you push through exhaustion. Pain is just weakness leaving the body. The other Pokémon start to avoid the training area when you're there. Your grunts of exertion have become growls of frustration. Your determination has become obsession. But you don't care what they think. You only care about one thing: making sure you're never that helpless again. Weeks pass, and getting stronger becomes something else entirely. Something darker. You start training through injuries that should sideline you for days. A sprained wrist? Just tape it up. Bruised ribs? Pain is temporary, weakness is forever. You tell yourself you're building character, but really you're just building damage. Every reflection becomes a comparison. Every other Pokémon becomes a measuring stick. That Timber over there? You could take him. That Makuhita? Definitely weaker than you now. You flex constantly, checking your progress, never satisfied with what you see. Sleep becomes optional. Food becomes fuel, nothing more. Rest becomes the enemy. You've heard other Pokemon whispering about you. He's changed. He's obsessed. Someone should talk to him. But you don't want their concern. You want their respect. Their fear, even. You want them to look at you and think, now there's a Pokemon who can't be messed with. The training area that used to be full of friends working out together is now just you, alone, lifting weights that are probably too heavy, pushing your body past every warning sign it's giving you. Pain tolerance, maximum. Common sense, disabled. Health warnings, ignored. You're getting stronger, there's no doubt about that. But something else is getting weaker, and you're too obsessed to notice what it is. And then, after months of punishing your body beyond its limits, it finally happens. The evolution energy surges through you as you're mid-lift, transforming your small frame into something much more powerful. When the light fades, you're no longer the tiny Machop who got beaten down in front of everyone. You're a Machoke. You flex your new muscles and feel the raw power coursing through them. This is what real strength feels like. This is what you've been working toward all these months of pain and isolation. You lift a boulder that would have been impossible before. It feels like lifting a pebble. You punch a tree and leave a crater in the bark. Every movement radiates power and confidence. For the first time since that humiliating day, you smile. Not the happy smile you used to have, but something harder, colder. Let's see how tough Primeape is now, you think as you admire your reflection in the water. The small, helpless Pokemon staring back at you is gone forever. Time to settle some old scores. You're testing your new strength in the forest when you hear it, the sound of someone getting hurt. A high-pitched cry of pain, followed by cruel laughter. You know these sounds. You've made those sounds. Through the trees, you see him. Primeape, towering over a small Apom who's curled up on the ground, trying to protect himself. The same casual cruelty, the same satisfied smirk, the same helpless victim. For a moment, you're back there, small, weak, humiliated while everyone watched. The memory burns through you like fire. But this time is different. This time, you're not the helpless one watching from the ground. You step into the clearing, and your heavy footsteps make both Primeape and Apom look up. Primeape's eyes widen slightly. He doesn't recognize the small Machop he used to torment in this powerful Machoke standing before him. Remember me? You think as you crack your knuckles. The sound echoes through the forest like a promise. This time, you're the one with all the power, and you're going to use every bit of it. The fight begins exactly how you expected it wouldn't go. Primeape is fast, faster than you anticipated. His fists blur as they connect with your body. Quick jabs to your ribs, your shoulders, your face. Each hit stings, but you've trained yourself to ignore pain. You swing back with devastating force, but he's already gone, dancing around you like you're moving in slow motion. Your powerful punches hit nothing but air, while his rapid strikes find their mark again and again. This isn't how it was supposed to go. You're supposed to be the strong one now. You're supposed to dominate. But months of obsessive training taught you one thing above all else: endurance. Pain tolerance, maximum. You can take this punishment all day if you have to. Primeape gets cocky. He's winning and he knows it. He starts showing off, taking bigger risks, staying in range just a little too long. That's when you see it. He throws a high kick aimed at your head, and for just a split second, his leg is within reach. Your hand shoots out with all the grip strength you've built through months of obsessive training. Your fingers close around his ankle like a steel trap. Game over. Now you have him. And all that rage, all that humiliation, all those months of pain are about to come pouring out. What happens next isn't a fight anymore. It's destruction. You swing Primeape into the nearest tree with a sickening crack. The trunk splinters from the impact, but you're not done. Not even close. You pivot and slam him into the ground with all the strength you've built through months of obsessive training. The earth cradles around the impact, but still you hold that leg. A boulder. Perfect. You swing him overhead and bring him down on the rock with a force that would have been impossible for the old you, the weak you. Tree. Ground. Boulder. Tree. Ground. Boulder. Each impact is payback for every humiliation, every moment of weakness, every night you trained until you collapsed. Primeape stopped fighting back after the second hit. Now he's just taking it. Blood trickles from cuts on his face and arms. His breathing is labored, pained. You stand over him, still gripping his leg, chest heaving with exertion and rage. This is it. This is what power feels like. This is what strength really means. You raise your free fist, ready to deliver the finishing blow that will cement your victory forever. That's when you see it. In your peripheral vision, a small figure cowering behind a tree. Apom, the Pokemon you came here to save. And he's not looking at Primeape with relief. He's looking at you with pure, terrified fear. Time stops. You look down at yourself, standing over a bloodied, barely conscious Primeape, his leg still gripped in your hand like a trophy. Your knuckles are scraped raw. Your breathing is heavy with rage, not exertion. This is what Apom sees. Not a hero, not a protector, a monster. You wanted to save him from a bully, but now he needs saving from you. The rage drains out of you like water from a broken dam. Your grip on Primeape's leg loosens, and he collapses to the ground, groaning softly. What have I done? The thought hits you harder than any of Primeape's punches ever could. You got everything you wanted. You're strong now, powerful. No one will ever be able to push you around again. But in becoming strong enough to never be the victim, you became something worse. You became the bully. All those months of training, all that pain, all that isolation, you thought you were building strength. But you were really just building the same cruelty that hurt you in the first place. You followed the wrong path to what you believed was strength. You thought achieving physical power would be the answer you were seeking, which is why you became so obsessed. But you were wrong. So very, very wrong. Weeks later, you're using your strength the way it was always meant to be used. A family of Caterpie got trapped under a fallen log after a storm. Your powerful arms make lifting it look effortless. The grateful chirps of the rescued Pokemon fill you with something you'd forgotten during all those months of obsessive training. Joy. Real, genuine satisfaction. This is what strength is for. Not to dominate others, but to help them. Not to prove your power, but to use it for something meaningful. You're in the middle of helping a group of Oddish reach some high berries when you hear familiar footsteps behind you. Primeape stands at the edge of the clearing, watching you work. His injuries have healed, but something in his posture is different. Less tense, more controlled. For a moment, you both just look at each other. The last time you met, you nearly killed him. Now here you are, using that same strength to help others. Without a word, Primeape moves to the other side of the berry tree. He starts helping the Oddish reach the fruit on his side. His movements careful and controlled, channeling his energy into something positive instead of destructive. You don't talk. You don't need to. But you both understand something now that you didn't before. You learned that real strength isn't about dominating others. It's about lifting them up. And he learned that his anger doesn't have to control him. It can be channeled into protecting and helping instead of hurting. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is show someone else a better way to be. As you and Primeape finishing helping the Oddish, you notice another familiar figure at the edge of the clearing. Riolu stands there, watching you with those same concerned eyes from months ago. But this time, you don't turn away. This time, you walk toward him. Rielu's ears perk up as you get closer. There's hope in his expression, but also wariness. He remembers how you pushed him away before. You kneel down to his level and extend your hand. It's the same gesture he tried to make that day after the beating, when you were too angry and hurt to accept help. This time, Riolu doesn't hesitate. He places his paw in your much larger hand, and you both know that everything is forgiven. As you walk home together, you think about the journey that brought you here. You started as a happy, helpful Machop who just wanted to protect his friends. Then you became something you barely recognize, obsessed, isolated, dangerous. You thought strength meant never being vulnerable again. You thought power meant making others fear you. You thought building muscle was the same as building character. But real strength isn't about how much you can lift or how hard you can hit. It's about being strong enough to help others, strong enough to control yourself, and strong enough to admit when you're wrong. Building muscle is easier than building character, but character is what makes you truly strong.